reflected in a song. And so I think your life is enriched, whether you're a songwriter or not a songwriter, when that becomes a background to your life. Your own emotions and your own experiences become that much more meaningful when you see that they can be universal, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Good answer for off the cuff. So,
you tried to fool me on this.
No, it's a better answer than I thought for that time. Well done. So I do want to talk about the documentary. It's so good. I watched it a while ago when we could first get it, and then I watched it again this morning. It's such a beautiful film. How you get that much stuff into it's like 85 minutes or something, isn't it? It's insane. I mean, it's got history, it's got music. You've packed it with like star guests. Am I right in thinking that was your kind of the brainchild for that? That's your idea.
Yes, and when I took over running the Bluebird, it was a thing I wanted to do. It was like, I'm going to get this movie made, because it had never been done before. And it was so perfect, and I knew it very well. So took a long time to find the right people to help. And actually it was C2C was where we kind of sealed the deal.
In London. Oh, yeah. Nice.
The two principals of Riverside Entertainment, I had met them because they worked for ABC Digital. So they filmed some of the shows and sidebar shows for the television show, like the live performance shows. And so they had come and filmed a couple of times at the Bluebird. They lived in LA, and, we got along fine. Then I found out that they had moved their company, or a part of their company, to Nashville. So knew them again and ran into them at C2C 3 years ago, I guess. Maybe, I think it was 3. And we were like, hey, good to see you. Let's go have dinner. So we were having dinner. And I was like, I really want to make this movie, and maybe you guys would want to make it too. And so they, according to Brian, my co-producer, he was like kicking his partner under the table. And they went back to the Airbnb where they were staying and put together a treatment overnight. So,
God.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was pretty close to what we actually followed. But, it was hard. We filmed a lot. We filmed at C2C. We filmed at our Bluebird on the Mountain series. We filmed a whole lot of footage and then narrowed it down. And it was an interesting process to be like, well, we can't talk about everything the Bluebird is. So what starts it all? What makes all of that other, like we were talking about, what makes all of that happen?
Yeah.
It's right here, this experience.
So did you find... you've got a bunch of big names in there, haven't you? Did you find those guests were happy to get involved in the project once they understood what was going on? Yeah.
People were very supportive. And I think that speaks to the experiences that they've had there, whether it was Faith Hill, singing backup for Gary Burr.
Yeah.
That's a great story. I love that story so much. And I think what's interesting too is, you hear that story of Faith, and she came up through the ranks like many people do, and has become this phenomenal, huge artist.
Yeah.
And so that's showcased, and Garth and Taylor, that kind of thing. But the other part of it that was so critical to showcase is, for instance, the scene about where have you been? And the star of that story is the song.
Yeah.
So you've got your artist stars, and then you have your songs, and showing people, how a song also became something more from its experience in that space. And I love the fact that there's really all of that put in together, whether it's, the up and coming writers and the kind of things that they've done and how they feel about the Bluebird, to the, the Garson, the Tony Aradas, and watching Garth, cry is always special.
That bit. What I really like about the film is, apart from, well, you just let the songwriters sing the songs, don't you? And then down in the corner it says who performed it for them. But it's just, I mean, especially the dance, and it's just so interesting hearing how they perform it, because it's almost like the song and it's exactly the same, but it's almost like it's different in a completely different way. Like you can see how much it means to them.
Yeah,
it's just really, really lovely. Talk to me a bit about Taylor Swift coming on. Then was that planned, or was that something that just happened organically?
Well, somebody asked me that. They're like, so was it a surprise to you? I'm like, it's Taylor Swift. They don't. I mean, no, it's never a drop in.
If only it was.
No, we had been communicating with her team for a while.
Yeah.
And Taylor is extremely, as we all know, so busy and so dedicated to her work.
Yeah.
And finding, a space where she would be in Nashville and have some flexibility was a challenge. But she always was really supportive of us, and still is. She's extremely generous, and I mean spiritually, and they found a way to make it work. And that way was with Craig Wiseman. And it couldn't have been better. And I guess that's also part of who Taylor is. She just knows. You can tell from the dialogue, she knew exactly what we were looking for. And her experience, she had it so well articulated that it wouldn't have even made sense to interview her. It was beautiful. And she just has that kind of finesse in knowing how to sort of put it all out there in a way that just makes everything have integrity. So I had gotten a call from her publicist who said, hey, what if Taylor makes an appearance with Craig Wiseman? And what's not shown on the movie is that she had taken Love Story to Craig when she was writing it and asked if he wanted to help write it with her, and he turned her down.
Oh, wow.
She did not forget. And during the filming, she brought that up too. But so they had, that story to talk about, which was fun. But we were like, okay, yeah, that'll work. This is how we're going to do it. So we made sure that Craig was good with that. But that's another one that nobody knew who was coming. They knew that we were having a special guest. They knew that we were filming for the documentary. I told everybody in the reservation line, it's like, oh, well, we're, I think I got on stage, talked about Craig a little bit before the show, and I said, hey, guys, this is, since we're filming for our documentary, everybody has to turn their phone off. The frequency is going to screw up the filming. We've got to have everybody's phones off, because we thought about bagging them and stuff, and it would have been so obvious. So because of that, nobody, during the filming, during Taylor's performance, nobody filmed it. The only footage that was ever filmed was somebody outside.
Wow.
It was amazing because everybody listened to that. But so, it all worked out really well. Although some people who had come in that day, who were industry people who were coming and being seated, saw Taylor's manager and they're like, why is Robert Allen here? What's happening? It was so much fun to see her come in the room, as you can tell from.
So those are real looks on the faces of genuine shock.
Yes. That little girl. Oh my God.
You couldn't fake that, could you?
It's amazing that one of our crew caught that, and what a brilliant thing for him to be focused on her. Well, all the other cameras were focused on Taylor. He was focused on that little girl, and it was priceless. Oh my gosh, it makes the scene.
Was it a challenge to get so much into like an 85-minute film? Because I assume it could have just gone on for hours.
Yes. We were just going over the outtakes, and it's tons of footage. And yeah, I mean, we went back and forth and had some things in there that, as we were going through, Brian and I would be like, that has to go. It's like, no, that can't go. It's like, nope, it has to go. And then we had a little bit different cut that we showed at South by our premiere, and then we went back and did some re-editing to do the ending changed.
Yeah.
And I think it worked so much better after we got that done.
Do you have a favourite scene in the film? Because I do, and it's not one. I'd just be interested to see what yours is.
Well, that's a good question. I don't know, to tell you the truth. I do love the scene where they're singing "Highway Don't Care." That's one of my favorites, just because I love the song. Yeah, I don't know. Tell me yours.
So, mine, despite everything that's in the film, my favourite is Tenille Townes singing "Jersey on the Wall." Just because I think you've captured somewhere. Obviously, at the time of the film, she's up and coming, but I think if you look back on the film, she's got to be huge. So her songwriting is. I saw her in Bush Hall in London. I don't know if you know Bush Hall.
I do.
I saw her perform there in like a daytime show. It's like 80 of us acoustics. That I think I was one of the few people that weren't crying. It's just, she is an incredible musician.
She is great. And when you asked about people that we see and know something's going to happen, she's always the first person that comes to mind. Because I remember the first time I saw her playing on an early show with some other Canadian writers.
Yeah.
We all, even our manager, who's very, very, very picky, we were all like, wow, what about her? And so, yeah, she's amazing. She's just, what an amazing person she is.
Yeah.
Just beyond that.
Loved over here. I think, especially over here, just incredible. So in terms of the future and the security of the building, you know where this is going. I understand that around you it's being quite gentrified. Is the security of the Bluebird and the surrounding area doubt, or are you just going to keep holding on? Or
well, Amy owns our space.
Yeah.
So we're secure in that space. All around us, as you know from watching the film, there's opportunity for development, and eventually that will happen, and we'll have to figure something out. Maybe this COVID virus will keep that from happening for a while.
Fingers crossed. So I finish all interviews with this question, but I can't think of a better person to ask this one to than you. Who do you recommend people listen to, and who are you really enjoying at the moment?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Well, let's see. We so no music virtually has been played in the Bluebird for 2 months. Crazy.
Yeah.
And I went over the other day to let Ryan Hurd in to do a little bit of recording of some of his songs acoustically.
Yeah.
And he is just great. And it was great to have him in there, and it just felt like, oh, thank you so much. So I would say Ryan for one. And I know he played one of our C2C shows. So,
incredibly talented wife as well, obviously.
Yeah.
Who's doing all right. Yeah, cute.
We love Walker Hayes.
Yeah.
Here. He's been a Bluebird family member for a long, long time. And it's been great to watch him and his career skyrocket. Let's see. Emily Earle is somebody who's been playing on our early shows, now moving up into a late show situation. She's amazing. I don't know. That's hard because many people are great at many levels, and like we get to watch them like sometimes, you know who we had in lately who is amazing, who now I've been listening